Mark, are you and the squad glad of having a game so quickly after Saturday?
Yeah, I think there's plenty of rights to amend, and we've got a tough game really against Middlesbrough. Even though they're in a sticky period of results, they've still got lots and lots of good players, lots of talent, and we have to be really, really good tomorrow night, whereas in areas that we weren't so good on Saturday. I think from time to time you come up against a team, if you let them play with quality that they have, the rotations that they showed, you know, that they can make it difficult for you if you don't stick to the principles, and if you don't work hard. You know, you've got to work at least as hard as the opponent. There was a drop off in the energy from Saturday's game, and that's a bit of a concern, because we had a week between games. So we'll look into the reasons why, but we can't do anything about that game. It's gone. We've got to focus quickly on the next one. Whilst there was areas that were disappointing on Saturday, there was some again really good play. Difficult to talk about one on the back of a 4-goal concession, but we scored 2 goals away from home, and we played some really decent football at times. The out of possession stuff we need to improve, and that's been one of the areas that's been pretty good. So there's a balance to be had, and you know that when you've got the ball, you've got to be better with it. And if you're being more expansive, you're a bit more open to transition. And they played better than us on Saturday. Tomorrow is an opportunity to go and try and put that right and try and get that balance and strike the balance. But obviously we've got to get back to more of the things that we've been doing, and certainly against Swansea, where there was a real uptick in our outputs. Out of possession, in possession was a bit better. We got more intent. There was more intent in the game, and keep showing that to get results. And everybody's got to understand that you've got to work really, really hard to get anything. And that isn't just football. That's in life in general. So, you know, I think that it's a lesson, and we've got to take that on board and move forward as quickly as we can.
How do you strike that balance with the group between the sort of home truths of Saturday and then retaining a positive mindset going into Tuesday? Well,
what we try and do, you've got to try and do that and deliver it in a as positive a way as possible. But also, the home truths are important too, and to be able to take that on board and take it on the chin is something that's sort of different now, because people are changing. You know, nobody likes any criticism. I don't think really that's changed too much, because I don't think there's too many people that like criticism over the years. But it's something that's done in the right way. You know, we're trying to improve. We're trying to help people get better and make people get better, and put certain demands on them that are non-negotiable. And really, for our supporters, we've got to go. And I've said before, prerequisite: you've got to run, you've got to work, you've got to fight, and you've got to show that. And I think sometimes in possession, when the game changes, you're in possession, you're in a different mindset. The challenge for everybody like that is you've got to be prepared to do the graft, and your mindset shifts when you lose the ball, and you're going to try and win it back. And again, when you win it back, it changes again. So, but you've got to have that intent, that purpose around everything, and that's what we're trying to get in and instill into the players that don't have it intrinsically in them. They know it's not sort of built into them or hardwired into them. We've got to try and do that. We all want to do well. You know, we all want to turn this around, and it's obviously a juggernaut that you've got to slow down and put the brakes on and turn it round gradually. And I think that you know, that happens over time. You know, but we've got a situation, and I'll go back to the fact that before the game on Saturday, we'd just picked up a really good 3-1 win against Swansea, and you know, you can't sort of then throw the baby with the bathwater and you know, start all over again. There are some really good signs in a lot of areas, and we've just got to make sure that we keep focusing on those things, as well as the little bits and pieces we've got to do better.
You didn't have Wouter Burger on Saturday. How is he?
He's all right. He's on the grass. He's training, so he's just felt a little bit uncomfortable. And I can't take any risk with him, and I wouldn't want to do that. We're just reliant on Wouter telling us that he's ready to go again.
You had Million back as well on Saturday. won the penalty late on. What have you made of his cameos, and what sort of impact can he have?
He's talented. He's a really talented player. We know that. And again, somebody who can light things up. And that sort of cameo in the game the previous week just showed what the ability that he has. So again, we're talking about players that have been out for a period of time, and it takes time for them to get up to speed. So you know, those are the things that we're now waiting for. So whilst it can be frustrating for everybody, you want to try and push as hard as you possibly can. You're at the mercy of the medical team and the players themselves, to be fair, just to sort of demonstrate how much they can do.
I imagine Sam Gallagher fits into that category. What are the steps we need to take to try and manage Sam in a way that gives him the best chance of staying fit and available?
Well, again, I think from a physical perspective, he's a really strong, powerful player that has still got to sort of learn how to use his strength and power to get the maximum benefit, you know, for himself and for us. So there are still movements that we can work on with him. There's still elements of the game that we can work with him on to improve his total output. You know, he's both in possession, out of possession, when he's challenging for the ball, how he's running, how he's landing, where he's running, the movements that he makes, where he runs. You know, the speed that he runs at. You know, he's an all-action player that just throws himself into everything. But there's got to be an element of control about how he moves and how he goes in for those challenges. So that's easier said than done, because it's obviously inbuilt into him. He's hardwired into him. The way that he plays, it's just something that he does. But maybe if we can just change that focus slightly, we can alter how he can impact our team. I think in his mind, he's sort of ready to go and desperate to get going, and he's said that for a bit, because obviously it's been a stop-start time for him. So, you know, he's a really intelligent guy, really intelligent, and hopefully we can use that to everybody's benefit to move forward and hopefully keep him on the pitch for a lot longer, because we need him. You know, he's got a lot of talent there that we want to demonstrate, and he wants to put out there in front of the supporters week in, week out.
Back home at the Bet365, how do you view the opportunity in front of us on Tuesday night?
Well, it's a good opportunity, there's no doubt about it. It gives us another chance. It's game 34 in the season, so we're playing catch up a little bit, but also we're 5 points from below us, but we're only a few points from, I mean, obviously we're 3 points away from climbing the table a little bit, but and catching teams above us. We have to focus on that. And if we win tomorrow night, we catch the teams above us, and we can start to move into areas where we can start to challenge. And you know, people talk about mid-table obscurity. I'll take that at the minute. I think we've got to build and start from somewhere, and this is obviously a season where we've got to try and do that and make sure that we've got some really good building blocks in place for moving forward. But this is the most important game of our season, because it's the next one.